In the glittering heart of Manhattan's upscale dining scene, where crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over linen-draped tables, a wealthy couple raised their champagne flutes in a toast that dripped with condescension. "Darling, isn't it quaint how they let anyone serve here these days?" sneered Victoria Harrington, her diamond earrings sparkling as she eyed the young waiter with undisguised disdain. But as the evening unfolded, the air thickened with an irony that would shatter their polished facade, revealing secrets buried beneath layers of privilege and prejudice. Ethan Caldwell adjusted his crisp white shirt, forcing a polite smile as he approached the corner table at Le Chateau, one of New York's most exclusive French bistros. At 28, he had mastered the art of blending in, his lean frame and unassuming demeanor hiding a world of ambition and heartache. Tonight was no different. He was filling in for a sick employee, a habit he maintained to stay connected to the roots of his empire. Victoria and her husband, Reginald Harrington, were celebrating their 15th anniversary, their laughter echoing like a symphony of entitlement. Reginald, a Wall Street tycoon with a penchant for tailored suits and cutting remarks, waved Ethan over with a flick of his wrist. "Boy, make sure the foie gras is fresh this time. We don't pay these prices for yesterday's scraps," he barked, his voice laced with authority. Ethan nodded, his hazel eyes steady despite the sting. He had heard worse, but something about their tone tonight cut deeper, perhaps because it echoed the echoes of his past. Growing up in a conservative suburb of Chicago, Ethan had faced rejection from his family when he came out at 17. His father, a stern factory worker, had called him a disappointment, while his mother wept silently, torn between love and societal expectations. Those wounds had propelled him forward, fueling a determination to build something unbreakable. After scraping through community college on scholarships, he moved to New York, starting as a dishwasher in dingy kitchens before climbing the ranks. Le Chateau was his crowning achievement, purchased 3 years ago with savvy investments and sheer grit. But few knew that he preferred anonymity, letting his general manager handle the spotlight. As he retreated to the kitchen, Ethan caught sight of Marcus, his partner of 2 years, overseeing the bustling staff with quiet efficiency. Marcus, a 30-year-old chef with warm brown skin and a gentle smile, had been Ethan's anchor through the storms. They met at a food industry gala, where Marcus's passion for fusion cuisine matched Ethan's vision for inclusive dining. Their relationship was a quiet rebellion against the world's judgments, two men finding solace in each other's arms amid the chaos of city life. "Rough table," Marcus whispered, brushing Ethan's hand discreetly. Ethan sighed. "Just another night of entitlement. Let's focus on the food." Back at the table, Victoria leaned in toward Reginald, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. "Did you see how he walked? So flamboyant. I bet he's one of those types pushing their agenda everywhere." Reginald chuckled, clinking his glass. "Absolutely. Remember that fundraiser last month? All those rainbow flags ruining the decor. Society's going downhill." Their words floated like poison, unnoticed by them but searing to Ethan as he returned with their appetizers. He placed the plates down carefully, but Victoria's next comment stopped him cold. "Honey, tip him extra if he doesn't spill anything. These gays need all the help they can get." Ethan's jaw tightened, but he held his tongue, retreating once more. The evening progressed, the Harringtons' mockery escalating with each course. They critiqued the wine selection, implying Ethan's recommendations were too fruity, a not-so-subtle jab. Ethan endured it, his mind racing back to his own struggles. Coming out had cost him friends, jobs, and family ties. In New York, he found a community, but prejudice lingered in polished circles like this. Marcus noticed Ethan's tension during a brief kitchen huddle. "Don't let them get to you," he urged, his voice a soothing balm. "We've built this place together. It's ours." Ethan nodded, drawing strength from Marcus's touch, a reminder of the love that had healed his scars. As dessert arrived, a decadent chocolate soufflé, Reginald summoned the manager, complaining about the service. "This waiter is incompetent. Fire him on the spot," he demanded. The manager, aware of Ethan's true role, hesitated, glancing toward the kitchen. Ethan stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Sir, perhaps I can address your concerns directly." Victoria rolled her eyes. "You? What do you know about running a place like this?" That's when the revelation hit. Ethan straightened, his demeanor shifting from servant to sovereign. "Actually, I own Le Chateau. Every decision, from the menu to the staff, is mine." The Harringtons froze, their faces paling under the soft lights. Reginald sputtered, "That's impossible. You're just a—" He trailed off, the unspoken slur hanging in the air. Victoria's hand flew to her mouth, her earlier laughter replaced by horrified silence. In that moment, the power dynamic flipped. Ethan could have ejected them, humiliated them publicly. Instead, he chose grace. "Enjoy your dessert. It's on the house. But remember, respect isn't bought. It's earned." As they stammered apologies, Ethan walked away, joining Marcus in the back. "You handled that perfectly," Marcus said, pulling him into a hug. But the incident lingered, a spark for deeper reflections on society's divides. The aftermath of that night rippled through Ethan's life like a stone skipped across a pond. Word spread subtly among the staff, turning Ethan into a quiet hero. Marcus, ever the supportive partner, suggested they take a weekend off to recharge. "We've earned it," he said, packing their bags for a quiet cabin upstate. Ethan agreed, but his mind churned with unresolved emotions. The Harringtons' prejudice wasn't unique. It mirrored the systemic barriers he had faced. As a gay man in business, he navigated boardrooms where whispers questioned his leadership, investors who hesitated over his lifestyle. Owning Le Chateau was his triumph, but it came with constant vigilance. Driving north, the city skyline faded, replaced by rolling hills. Marcus held Ethan's hand across the console, their fingers intertwined. A simple act that felt revolutionary in a world still grappling with acceptance. "Do you think they'll change?" Marcus asked, referring to the couple. Ethan shrugged. "People like that rarely do without a push. But maybe this was theirs." Their conversation delved deeper, touching on their own journey. Marcus had grown up in Harlem, facing intersectional biases as a black gay man. Cooking became his escape, channeling creativity into dishes that blended cultures. Ethan admired his resilience, how he turned pain into art. Back in the city, the Harringtons grappled with their humiliation. Reginald, reviewing his firm's diversity policies, felt a twinge of guilt. Victoria, active in high society circles, overheard gossip about the incident at a charity luncheon. "Did you hear about the Harringtons?" Mocked the owner, thinking he was just staff, a friend whispered. It stung, forcing Victoria to confront her biases. She had always prided herself on being progressive, donating to causes, attending galas, but her words that night revealed a hypocrisy she couldn't ignore. Ethan, meanwhile, decided to use the experience for good. He organized a staff meeting at Le Chateau, sharing his story openly for the first time. "Prejudice doesn't discriminate by class or setting," he said, "but neither does dignity." The team, a diverse mix of backgrounds, applauded, inspired by his vulnerability. Marcus stood by his side, their partnership a beacon. That evening, as they prepared for a busy service, a familiar face appeared at the door. Reginald Harrington, alone and subdued. "I owe you an apology," Reginald said, his usual bravado absent. Ethan invited him to a quiet table, listening as Reginald admitted his ignorance. "I've succeeded in finance, but failed in humanity." It was a start, but Ethan probed deeper. "What about the gays comment? Was that just a slip?" Reginald hesitated, then confessed his upbringing in a rigid family had shaped his views. Ethan shared his own history, the rejection, the rebuild, bridging the gap with empathy. Marcus watched from afar, proud yet wary. Later, in their apartment overlooking Central Park, he voiced concerns. "Forgiving them too easily lets society off the hook." Ethan nodded, torn. Their debate highlighted the story's core conflict, balancing personal healing with collective justice. As they held each other, the city lights twinkling below, Ethan whispered, "Love like ours changes minds, one at a time. The Harringtons' transformation wasn't immediate. Victoria joined a local LGBTQ+ ally group, volunteering at events. Reginald pushed for inclusive policies at his firm, sponsoring pride initiatives. But whispers of doubt lingered. Were their changes genuine or damage control? Ethan pondered this during quiet moments, his relationship with Marcus strengthening amid the turmoil. A new challenge arose when a conservative blogger caught wind of the incident, twisting it into a narrative of woke overreach. Online comments flooded, some defending Ethan, others accusing him of entrapment. The controversy boosted Le Chateau's visibility, attracting supportive patrons but also protesters. Ethan faced interviews, his sexuality thrust into the public eye. Marcus stood firm, co-authoring an op-ed on intersectional equality. Through it all, their bond deepened. A romantic dinner at home, Marcus's signature dish, reminded Ethan why he fought. "You're my home," he said, their foreheads touching. Yet, societal pressures tested them, sparking arguments over visibility versus privacy. As the media storm intensified, Ethan's life became a whirlwind of scrutiny. Paparazzi lingered outside Le Chateau, snapping photos of him and Marcus hand in hand. "Gay owner humiliates elite couple, justice or revenge?" screamed headlines, fueling heated debates on talk shows. Ethan appeared on a morning program, his voice steady. "It's not about revenge. It's about respect." Viewers split. Some hailed him as a trailblazer, others decried him as opportunistic. Back home, the strain showed. Marcus, usually calm, snapped during an argument. "We're not just a story for them to dissect." Ethan pulled him close. "I know, but hiding won't change anything." Their love, once private, now symbolized broader struggles. Flashbacks haunted Ethan. His first Pride parade, where joy mixed with fear. The job interview where a subtle question about his family led to rejection. Marcus shared his own tales of microaggressions in kitchens, where his ideas were dismissed until proven. The Harringtons, thrust into the fray, issued a public statement. "We were wrong, and we're committed to learning." Victoria's involvement in ally work drew praise, but skeptics questioned her motives. Reginald faced backlash at work, colleagues whispering about his fall from grace. In a surprising twist, he reached out to Ethan for advice on supporting LGBTQ+ employees. Their meeting over coffee evolved into an unlikely alliance. "I see now how my words perpetuate harm," Reginald admitted. Ethan, cautious, shared resources, planting seeds of change. Society's conflicts amplified. A bill in Congress debating LGBTQ+ rights sparked protests. Ethan and Marcus attended a rally, their presence captured on camera. Chants of unity filled the air, but counter-protesters hurled slurs, echoing the Harringtons' mockery. Ethan felt a surge of anger, but Marcus's hand steadied him. "We're stronger together." Personal choices loomed. Ethan considered expanding Le Chateau, incorporating inclusive events like pride brunches. Marcus supported it but worried about burnout. "Don't lose yourself in the fight." Their evenings became sanctuaries, cooking together, sharing dreams. Yet, a rift emerged when Ethan accepted a speaking gig at a conservative conference, hoping to bridge divides. Marcus objected. "They don't deserve your platform." The argument escalated, revealing deeper fears. Ethan's need for validation versus Marcus's protective instincts. Reconciliation came under starlit skies during a spontaneous getaway. "I choose us, always," Ethan vowed. Their embrace mended the fracture, but the world pressed on. A viral video of the rally incident, showing Ethan confronting a heckler, sparked more controversy. Supporters flooded Le Chateau, while detractors boycotted. Victoria, inspired, hosted a fundraiser for LGBTQ+ youth, inviting Ethan as guest of honor. There, amid mingling guests, old wounds surfaced. A attendee questioned Ethan's forgiveness. "Why give them a pass?" Ethan replied, "Change starts with dialogue." The event succeeded, raising funds and awareness, but ignited online debates about performative allyship. As tensions peaked, Ethan reflected on his journey. From outcast to owner, lover to leader, Marcus's unwavering support was his constant. Yet, a shocking revelation loomed. An anonymous tip suggested the Harringtons' initial mockery was part of a pattern, with past complaints of discrimination at Reginald's firm. The anonymous email arrived late one night, its subject line chilling, "Harrington's hidden bigotry." Ethan stared at his screen, heart pounding. It detailed lawsuits against Reginald's firm for LGBTQ+ discrimination, settled quietly, buried under NDAs. Marcus read over his shoulder, fury building. This changes everything. Their apology was a facade. Ethan felt betrayed, his olive branch now a thorn. Confronting Reginald privately, Ethan demanded truth. Were those cases real? Reginald admitted partial fault, claiming reforms were underway. "I was blind, but I'm changing." Victoria, tearful, confessed her own past insensitivities. The meeting ended tensely, Ethan withdrawing his support. "Actions, not words," he said. The revelation fueled Ethan's activism. He partnered with advocacy groups, using Le Chateau as a hub for discussions. Marcus, channeling his energy into new menus symbolizing unity, dishes blending flavors like their lives. Their relationship, tested by stress, found new depths. A quiet proposal under the restaurant's chandelier. Marcus on one knee, ring in hand. "Marry me, Ethan." Through all this chaos, tears flowed as Ethan accepted, their kiss a defiant act of love. But society pushed back. Conservative media labeled Ethan a militant agitator, twisting his story. Protests outside Le Chateau turned ugly, with signs decrying forced diversity. Ethan hired security, but the toll mounted. Marcus worried for their safety. "Is this worth it?" A brick through the window answered, shattering glass and resolve. In the debris, Ethan questioned his path. Flashbacks to his youth. Bullying in school, where slurs were casual. His first love, ended by fear. Marcus's embrace grounded him. "We fight because we can." Rebuilding, they hosted a community night, turning negativity into solidarity. Patrons shared stories, forging bonds. The Harringtons, facing their own reckoning, publicly acknowledged the lawsuits. Reginald stepped down from a board position, donating to reparations. Victoria deepened her allyship, mentoring queer youth. Their evolution sparked controversy. Forgiveness versus accountability. Online forums buzzed. Was redemption possible, or perpetual punishment? Ethan's wedding planning intertwined with advocacy. Choosing a venue symbolized progress. A historic hall once barring same-sex ceremonies. Friends rallied, but family absences stung. Ethan's parents still distant. A tentative call to his mother yielded progress. "I'm proud, son." Tears bridged years of silence. High drama unfolded when a former employee leaked internal memos from Reginald's firm, exposing ongoing biases. Ethan debated exposing them fully, torn between justice and mercy. Marcus advised caution. "Don't become what you hate." The choice weighed heavy, emotions raw. As the wedding neared, a gala at Le Chateau celebrated milestones. Toasts honored resilience, but an uninvited guest, a heckler from the rally, crashed, spewing hate. Security intervened, but the incident underscored persistent prejudice. In quiet reflection, Ethan and Marcus reaffirmed their vows privately. "Our love defies them," Marcus said. The story's climax built, choices defining legacies. The wedding day dawned crisp in Central Park, cherry blossoms framing the ceremony. Ethan and Marcus exchanged vows before a crowd of supporters, their rings glinting in sunlight. "In you, I found my truth," Ethan said, voice thick with emotion. Cheers erupted, but absent were the Harringtons, invited but declined, citing ongoing scrutiny. Their absence symbolized unresolved tensions. Post-honeymoon, Ethan returned invigorated, channeling energy into expansion. Le Chateau branched to Brooklyn, emphasizing inclusive hiring. Marcus's culinary innovations drew acclaim, their partnership thriving. Yet, societal clashes persisted. A Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ plus protections sparked celebrations and backlash, mirroring Ethan's battles. Reflecting on the Harrington incident, Ethan penned a memoir excerpt, sharing vulnerabilities. It went viral, humanizing the debate. Readers debated prejudice's roots, redemption's validity. Marcus, co-editing, added perspectives on intersectionality, enriching the narrative. A surprise reunion occurred at a charity event. Reginald approached, humbled. "Your story changed us." Victoria hugged Ethan, genuine remorse evident. Forgiveness extended tentatively, alliances formed for advocacy. But skeptics remained, questioning authenticity. Ethan's family reconciliation deepened. His parents visited, awkward but healing. "We were wrong," his father admitted. Marcus welcomed them, family expanding. As years hinted at progress, challenges loomed, new laws threatening rights. Ethan and Marcus stood firm, their love a fortress. The story closed on a high note. Le Chateau hosting its first Pride Festival, crowds celebrating diversity. Yet, lingering questions provoked thought. In a world of divides, Ethan's choices sparked debate. Empathy over enmity, or justice without mercy? Was it right for Ethan to forgive the Harringtons, or should prejudice face unrelenting consequences?